I wish good things to you who's watching this. I am Alexey, and this is round 2 of the World Team Carcassonne Online Championship 2025. And Finland was supposed to play against Catalonia in about 3 minutes, but if any of you have been reading the news, then you know very well why this is unlikely to happen. So there's a huge power outage in the entire Iberian Peninsula, and unless there's suddenly power again in Catalonia, like immediately, then probably nothing's really going to happen. So of course we're going to stay here for 2 minutes and see if a miracle is going to happen or not, but really we're just going to have a lengthy preview to the next match, which is happening in around half an hour, and that's going to be Germany against Slovakia. Now both countries are far enough away from southwestern Europe that we hope that no power outages are there at the very least, and that everybody is safe as far as possible. I'll try to cover the Finland versus Catalonia match in a few days or whenever it's going to happen. But before that, let's start with a little preview for Germany versus Slovakia. I just need to do a little fixing of things. Just bear with me. There we go. So let's start our preview, first of all, by reviewing the World Team Carcassonne Online Championship situation. Interestingly, Finland is ahead of the entire world at the moment. The team that has only been participating for 2 years. They defeated Australia, the championship newcomer, quite confidently in Group A. Catalonia, on the other hand, had to work really hard to eke a win over Hong Kong, as Senglar, the reigning world champion Danny Angelat, managed to deliver quite the comeback against Hong Kong's Sunny Chen. So, well, now it's 1800 UTC. Let's just check if power has miraculously been restored or not. So, oh! Well, Catalan players have been online, but I do get a confirmation that the match is going to be rescheduled. So the plan is as follows. I'm not going to stop the stream because the next actual match is happening in half an hour. We're just going to do a brief preview for Germany versus Slovakia, and then we're just going to spend some time playing casual Carcassonne on stream. Or you know what? Let's do it the opposite order. So I'm just going to start a random game in arena mode. I really feel like playing more now after the rather painful defeat against Team Croatia. So for those of you who don't know, Latvia had their first match yesterday and I was part of it, and we all lost. So that was a bit of a cold shower. I mean, Croatia, of course, is a very strong team. I didn't realize they were that strong. So I'm very keen on just taking it out on an innocent bystander. And also to practice some commentating skills. And then around 1820 UTC, I'm going to stop playing. I'm going to do a proper preview for Germany against Slovakia. Hi, Sergey. Absolutely joining your reaction. Alrighty, we get an unsuspecting player, LIK24, whom I do not remember at all. Not sure what their rating is. We can play Guess the Elo. Alright, so they meeple a 3-point monastery controlling the city cap. Hi, Ian. And then what are we supposed to do? I guess the natural move is best But it is tempting to do something else. So the reason why this is not such a great tile is because I'm giving back the city cap, and with a city plus road tile, my opponent can get easy 4 points. Or, you know, do something like this. This is actually a rather benign tile, because the city that they just claimed is not particularly appetizing. I guess I don't have much of a choice. I get to start a new city, and it's a decent position for me. I'm 4 points ahead on the scoreboard. I still have the starting player advantage. Now, with this straight line, of course, we never go here because that improves their monastery and it would deteriorate my city and my road as well. So it's between two moves. The more natural move is to go here and play against two of my opponent's city squares at the same time. But not a crazy option is to go here. So first of all, that disrupts the monastery spot. And second, it sort of frees the city because my opponent cannot finish the city because that would expose the square for blocking. But I really don't like giving a point to my opponent, so I'm just going to make a normal move. So my opponent gets a meeple back. Now we have some interesting choices. What are our interesting choices? Let's think about it. So we could finish the city, but that's too weak. It's really between this, starting a new city over here, and again, blocking this square. Or maybe this, that would be taking more decisive action against our opponent. Yeah, I guess I prefer this. So the idea is that we can finish our city and then play against this square. They're now forced to go over here, but luckily we already have the invasion prepared. They have to go over here. There's really not much choice. They might not want... Okay, that is definitely a mistake. So they... Now we know for sure that they're rated not higher than 500. Maybe not higher than 550. It's not a horrible mistake. Like, I'd see what they're doing. But they are helping my road with a road end, whilst also not really helping their city, because their city is going to get blocked. Their city is going to get really blocked. Okay. Hi, Amiris, saying that Navarre is not going to play. So there's apparently going to be a change in the lineup. Well, I would expect this change reflected in the website. Who's playing instead of Navarre then? This is something I would like to know. Navarre 7-9, of course, referring to Ralph Querfurt, the only ever 4-time world champion of Carcassonne. Back in 2006, 2007, 2008, 2010, I believe, or something like this. No, 2007 through 2010. Anyway, so our opponent gets a stop, which makes sense. Their city is now dangerous. Can't really do nothing about it. I could go here, starting a new road. That's a bit weak. I'd rather go here, continue my city, even though that's not the most appetizing looking city tile. Ah, Myrmidon. So they got... Good to know the Team Germany got a replacement. Hopefully everything's okay with Ralph. Dear. Yeah, I can't... Anyway, my opponent continues their field, which makes sense. Nothing much that they can do with a straight line. I gotta really play a little bit faster. Not sure if I'm making the best moves here, but... These These are my choices. I could invade here, and this city is getting a bit menacing, but this tile is too good to pass up for my own city, and I can commit the invasion a little bit later. Or so I thought. Yeah, now I really have to... I mean, do we go here? I guess I could go here and try and block, but the city is getting a bit too dangerous. Do I invest a whole meeple there? Nah, you know what? Let's just do this. Let's just play like a normal person. So sometimes our opponent finishes a city, but it is what it is. I just really don't want to make moves which are unnecessarily panicky. Then also here we can pre-build the road. And the idea is, yeah, if my opponent does something like this, then I can invade or block here later. And in fact, was that a... No, that wasn't quite a self-block. There's still a tile that goes here, but there's only one of these tiles. So you see, there's no need to block your opponent if your opponent's gonna block. Oh, lordy. Yeah. So they immediately hit the one remaining tile in the deck. And what do I do? Like, I could do this, but I don't think I have to, because I am definitely playing a low-rated player, and I just, man, I hate doing this. No, I'm not doing this. I'm not spending a shielded tile. I'm just starting a new city, and the plan is to just withstand their big city if they're successfully completed. Because I just can't, right? Let's take 4 points here. Let's take as much compensation as possible before they complete their city. Yeah, so they take 3 points for a road, whilst also freeing my road meeple. Okay, good to know that everything's okay with our former world champion. Now, this would be a normal move to try and block the square, but I think we need to attend to that city a little bit, right? It appears to be more important than simply trying to block the monastery. Now my opponent can save their monastery, but we'll be equalizing that city. So a bit of luck for my opponent at first, and then a little bit of luck for me as they were unable to draw a city cap soon enough. So I could block their monastery. Just kidding. The move that we need to play is, of course, this move. Preparing to connect to the city, as well as making life unpleasant for the road meeple. Okay, there we go. Big objective accomplished. But they are now scoring with their monasteries pretty well. Yeah, so we're gonna need to cook some more. Maybe here trying some blocky stuff, but no. I don't like adding features to my opponents. That's it. So can we go here now? Can we try and play against their monastery somehow? Not yet. Let's threaten an 8-point city on the right. Yeah, that's a good farmer from them. They're actually playing pretty decently, like at a 400 level maybe. What else? Yeah, starting a monastery makes sense. It's supporting my road. It's pretty safe. I'm playing really fast. So ideally I'd wanted to do something like this, but finishing a city and dropping a farmer seems like a no-brainer, with 3 curves still remaining in the deck for me to capitalize. Okay, so that's of course a good move, but this is a prime example for the Ukrainian technique. Now they have to help my city if they want to get a monastery meeples back, and if they don't want to get a monastery meeple back, that's fine with me, with the meeple lead and the scoreboard lead. But that's a great move from them. invading my city. I am going to try and complete my loop road at some point. And then later on I can invade their farm. I can do all kind of things. Yeah, so they go for dropping tiles left and right. I think I can afford a monastery here. There's still some good tiles that go here. So for example, I could maybe get a straight line, a crossroad, another straight line, and build all the way around this. So more often than not, with 20 tiles remaining, I'm actually completing this monastery. Not that I have to necessarily, know that I have this here option available for me. Ooh, I didn't see that idea. That's actually really neat. So they have now created a big field and they have the farming majority. Not that it's going to be a big problem. Let's just score points. Okay, that's also a very smart move. So they don't wait for the Dorito tile. They actually give me the 8 city points, but they get themselves a meeple back and 4 points in compensation. Hey, now it's a game. Actually, I mean, they could win this. They could realistically win this. All right. Okay, so that's a mistake. Now we know for sure that maybe they're rated around 350, I'm going to say. Because the invasion is fine to support the farmer, but why not take the 9-point field? Like, why take a 0-point field? This could also be blocked pretty easily. I'm going to just ignore all of that and simply try and build up my monastery. I know that I'm leaving a city cap in their field, but I'm also making it so that it's now super easy for me to finish my monastery. I'm 22 points ahead on the scoreboard. They have 5 on the roads. Now 8 on the road, so that's 14. I have 14 on the monasteries. And there are 8 cities on total in the fields. So even if they have the big field, like, I should win this. So this means that, as usual, we don't fight for the field in this case. I think we just need to score. And a loop road is one way to do this. There's still a couple of curves remaining. Or that. Yeah, that's a big, big mistake. Trying to go for... Oh, well, not a big, big mistake. They actually haven't connected the farms. But I think I need to take the 9-point field now. And then I'm not even going to bother connecting all the farmers. If they want to eat up my meeple, then they will need to, first of all, get a curve here to get them an extra farmer. And then they're going to get a road tile here to connect me. But if that happens, then I can re-attack again. So it's okay to just drop this farmer and leave everything alone. Okay, that's interesting. So they finish my monastery just to meeple the city. And it's not necessarily a bad idea. No, I think it's definitely premature. Now we need to either block them like this, which is not crazy. Or maybe like this and we invade. So are there actually any city plus road tiles? I don't see them. Well, there's one butterfly. How about this? Well, there are no vanillas, but there are some Doritos and stuff. Yeah, let's actually have some fun. Let's try and have a bit more fun. Okay, that's good. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. There's still. Let's do this now. Try and harass them a little bit. I'm not counting the tiles well enough. Yeah, that works. So what's next? What am I going to do next? I guess just taking a point. That seems reasonable, although that's a bit risky because if there are 2 city caps remaining, which I think there might be, then they could take a larger city. Wait, can they? Are there 2 city caps though? Well, there's the splitter remaining. That's 1 city cap and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. No daggers. No vertical splitters. Oh yeah, actually there just aren't 2 city caps, maybe. Maybe so then I just can ignore their city, so then this is the move to make. Yeah, so they're trying to equalize my farmer, which means they're not counting tiles, because simply turning the curve the other way would have blocked my farmer, so they didn't have to spend a meeple. And I can still invade the farm with the last curve using my 9-point farmer. And this is exactly what I'm going to do. So look at this. Yay, we equalized the big field. So we get to have our cake and eat it too. My verdict is going to be 350. Like, overall they played solidly, but sometimes very, very risky. Maybe 373. That's going to be my guess. $27 points on the field. Good thing I didn't blunder that, because then I would have lost. Oh no, I wouldn't actually. Look at this. So they had 30 points on the field, and that was... So that was not enough. Okay, so, oh, they actually are only rated 146. They played way, way better than 146. I just want to look at their profile. Are they new or something? Yeah, only 36 games, so probably their actual... They just have not played enough games to reflect their actual strength. Anyway, nice to win a game once in a while. Not a frequent occurrence for me lately, but there we go. Anyway, back to the World Team Carcassonne Online Championships. So for those of you who just joining, the Finland versus Catalonia got cancelled due to the event that is in the news. Hopefully power can be restored soon enough. And then we can broadcast that match in another day. Now, Germany versus Slovakia is another match that's going to happen. Now, it is one where a certain outcome is to be expected. Team Germany has a reputation for a strong team, but they have gotten even stronger lately. So they did lose their first match against Italy in a rather difficult group, and they still have to face Poland for the qualification for the playoffs. And Slovakia is going to be among the teams that Germany absolutely has to win if they want to qualify. For Slovakia, the road is much harder. They already lost to Poland. Again, of course, an incredibly strong team, so that was to be expected. Now, if Slovakia wants to win today, there's some key duels which they need to cover. Oh yeah, I guess you can see it on the side anyway. So on table 1, we have Germany's Miami, who has gotten really, really good recently, not just rating-wise, but I've watched some of their games. In fact, I've analyzed one of their games today, and they have made their playing style much more flexible. And I remember maybe 3 years ago, they would just over-prioritize fields. And this sometimes resulted in some painful losses in the World Team Carcassonne Online Championships. But now they've diversified their style and Really, I would expect them actually to be the favorite against Mate Tabak, that's Mate 11. Now, Mate currently rated 536. Now, I know that the actual playing strength is higher. I believe they had crossed the 700 rating threshold. They have also a lot of in-person achievements, and I think they are the player to have played in the most semifinals than anybody else. Somebody correct me on this statistics if I'm wrong, but I know that they have the most fourth place finishes in the world than anybody else, or something like this. Now on table 2, that also should be super interesting. Slovakia's Misozak will be looking to try and upset Germany's Ice Maze, a fellow YouTuber who has been consistently performing this season. They've reached top 4 both in the Carcassonne Champions League and the Mind Sports Olympiad earlier this year, so they should be a massive favorite. Maybe 30% chance for Misozak to manage to win. So tables 1 and table 2 will be the main hopes, and then some sort of upset on table 3. Now, we know that Navarre on table 3 can't play, and this actually means that there's a chance for Carpenter. Myrmidon is the German player who will be replacing Navarre, and this is somebody with whom I'm not familiar, so I am going to assume that maybe they are not quadruple world champion like Navarre. So on table 3, the duel should be a bit closer. By the way, also, I haven't decided necessarily where I want to start. Probably on table 2, so you still have 6 minutes to influence my decision. Do let me know which table or tables you would prefer to see most. So on table 4, Karabojan should be favored against Matisek. Karabojan, most famous as a frequent guest on the German language streams by Meeple Wizard on his channel. And I think he has the best commentating voice there is. Very soothing, you know, understanding the position very deeply. So don't expect him to get nervous and make blunders that way. And on table 5, Loisha against Speed 951. Both players currently lower rated than their actual playing strength. I have definitely seen Speed 951. I'm afraid to lie to you, but I'm gonna say close to the 500 mark for sure, and Loishi way over of the 500 mark as well. So that's my preview. Overall, ain't gonna lie, I think Germany has like an 80% chance to win this match, but it's Carcassonne and anything can happen. Yeah, that's a quick preview. I guess let's just spend the next 5 minutes in silence, because no. There are some other things that we can have a look at. I always get the feeling on these streams, whenever I do these intros, that I forget to share something important. And I can't quite pinpoint what that is in this instance. I want to just go through the players' profile pages. Yeah, that would also be something that we can do. Okay, I guess we can close all the Finland versus Catalonia duels. So yeah, Miami, as you can see, well, played a couple of games today. They're rated 706 with over 8,000 games of experience. Ice Maze with a similar number of games. Oh no, actually, wait. I'm shocked. Ice Maze only has 1,500 games on this platform, but there must be like, I don't know, 10,000 on Brettspielwelt before that. And of course, a near 700 rating at the moment. Now, Myrmidon, that's our replacement player. Currently rated 546. I don't think I've ever played them or seen them play. which also makes it interesting to try and cover for a little bit today. Less than 1,000 games on this platform. I presume some more games in real life and other platforms as well. If they actually have played only 572 games in their life, then a rating of 546 is absolutely amazing. And Skarabujan with 3,700 games, over 600 experience. Loishi with under 1,000. Yeah, I also presume that many German players play on other platforms. Now, Mate, probably the most active player playing today. They also are one of the fastest players, probably second fastest in the world after Erwin G when it comes to their average playing times. 11,000 games of experience and a lot more in person and other platforms as well. Misozak with a juicy rating of 555, just over 1,000 games of experience. Carpenter with a few hundred behind their belt. Matisek with a very pretty M as their avatar, also just over 1,000 games. And Speed 951 with just 159 games on this platform, which is definitely less than I expected. I feel like I do see them from time to time on this platform. And Craft Giraffe is asking, who do I think is going to win it this year? I think it's going to be between 3 teams. No, 4 teams. 4 teams. Well, so we did lose 0-5 on our first game, but from Team Latviia, we're absolutely going to try and fight until the end. And every year when they start the championship, the goal is super high. So we're aiming to win the whole thing. And then other than Team Latvia, I'm going to say China, Ukraine, Japan. But really Ukraine, no. Japan, Ukraine, China in that order. Several reasons. I mean, Japan, I don't think it needs an explanation. 4 times world champions, and also they have a stronger roster even than last year when they won the world championship. Ukraine had a strong start against Portugal, and they have the highest rated team. If you just look at the pure ELOs, they have 9 masters on their team and 1 soon to be master probably. And China also has the other former world champion and a team that has been performing high consistently. So these would be my expectations. Alrighty, who do we watch? We need to make a split-second decision. Let's watch Ice Maze. Because you know why? Wait, where is Ice Maze? Did I even open him? Huh. Alrighty. So Ice Maze is playing red against Misozak, who is going to be the starting player. And already it looks like a good position for the German. 4 points on the scoreboard. A rhombus-shaped city about to get completed. Maybe an uninspiring 2-point road, but the point of that road is simply to control all of the potential invasion squares. And also to maybe try and sneak in a road invasion over here, or a block like this. Misozak for a very nasty move over here. And now probably yellow, that's the Slovak player, is looking to do something like this, and it looks counterintuitive because he would be, yep, exactly, unifying his 3-point road with the 1-point road of Ice Maze, but the separation of these roads is not in yellow's interest because this square is so dangerous that this meeple is about to get blocked, so he figures why not block our opponent's meeple as well. So Germany here with a not easy to place tile. Yeah. Oh, actually no, it says not a difficult decision really. Just going over here makes the most sense. The reason I gotta go over here, actually, yeah, this is in fact I think the only correct move, because there isn't anything else of, nah, miss, that's a miss, that's a miss. I understand like the desire to just discard this tile, but it was really between two moves. Option one was going over here and trying to invade this city. And option two was going here just to prevent this move with a straight line. And it was extremely fortunate for red that red managed to draw a Dorito tile just in time, because the most likely outcome is that after this platform was created is that some sort of road tile is being stuck here, and then the red meeple can be suffering. So yeah, Ice Maze dodged a bullet here. Just gotta be careful later. Horrible position really for the Slovak player. So the scoreboard, 14 points, and there's just absolutely nothing to compensate for it. Well, I guess the trapped meeple of Ice Maze could be a problem. It's not even trapped yet, but even if you trap it, let's say you take a curve, which is something that Miso will need to do, then this meeple is worth 3 points. So 3 plus 14 is 17. So the position is going to be that Ice Maze is going to be 17 points ahead for the price of one meeple, and this is a perfectly reasonable investment of a meeple. So I think Miso's long-term hope, which still exists, is twofold. First of all, we might just draw a bunch of monasteries, you know, the usual stuff. And the second thing what we might do is just gain the meeple majority. Again, really looking for that curve, trying to block the square. Ain't gonna happen, as I believe Ice is probably gonna go over here. Although he might not even bother and just do something like this. Yeah, he really does not seem to care about this meeple. He wants to go for efficiency. I would have probably preferred maybe a move like this, kind of getting the best of both worlds, so still starting a new city, still being a bit more flexible. Yeah, but that also makes sense. But anyway, once Miso can get a long-term meeple advantage, which is not now, but a little bit later now, of course, we go here, drop a farmer, then Miso can hope to draw a bunch of city caps. Oh, no farmer? Okay, that's interesting. I mean, that's understandable, but I think a bit of a proactivity wouldn't hurt in this position. Yeah, I was saying something about farms. Oh yeah, so like long term, you see how many big tiles there are on the board, everything like super clunky. And when they are big tiles on the board, this means that all the small tiles, all the city caps are still in the deck. So they are going to come out later. And then the side with the meeple majority can build like a 21-point field almost instantly. And Miso, that's a rough move. That is an instructive moment. So first of all, it looks like it's a blocking move, right? It reduces the probability of finishing this city, but of this road. But actually, that's also a very nice response from Ice Maze. This move is helping red, not blocking red, because red is looking forward to getting one of the two remaining horse tiles that go over here, and then he's going to even meeple this huge ruin as well. And the thing is, it's actually quite tricky to block this here square permanently. I mean, Miso can do now, but now he'll be hurting his own monastery. And even without his monastery, there are like multiple moves required here. Also, now that I look at this here field, okay, now finally we drop a farmer, something maybe we could have done a little bit earlier, but it is never too late, I guess. Oh, quite unfortunate. Ice is finishing his city and Miso cannot defend. He's about to get his city blocked. This was really his main hope. We cannot afford to lose a meeple at 4 points when we're 17 points behind on the scoreboard. Yeah, and also the monastery is a bit awkward, so we have to take every point we can get. Maybe going over here is an option. Maybe even going over here is an option, but then we risk getting blocked over here. With only one dagger of each kind remaining, this would be a bit reckless. If we meeple here or here, it looks strong, but it really isn't. Because there's actually not enough time to build up all these monasteries. So the point of meepling a monastery here is just simply that we leave it alone. And then we try to just use this monastery to control our opponents. And yep, what did I tell you a few moves ago? With the generous help of Miso, the German road has been completed and a new German city has started. And this is not just any city, it's pretty big. It's 7 points. It's not quite Cologne, but maybe Duisburg, something like this. Aachen, maybe that size. Of course, it's not going to be completed, but I don't think it's something that is at all necessary. So Miso gets a 4-point road from the monastery, and believe it or not, this game is actually not lost. I can definitely see either Red making mistakes or maybe Miso getting a lot of city caps and then winning the game that way. This farmer invasion though looks really good. There's still 5 curves available here. But then I guess Miso could go here, then get a city cap, then re-invade the farm. And then maybe we can also go later here with a straight line and try and meeple this 9-point farm. And then keep the 2 farms separate. So that'll be 21 points. It's rough, but it's doable. It's still doable. I guess this 4-point city is going to hurt. But a combination of a lot of city caps plus maybe some imprecision from our opponent could make things difficult. Yeah. But not if we waste shielded tiles like this. I can understand this move. It certainly makes some sense. But this is a type of move when you make when the score is equal. Like, we gotta be in desperation mode here, because look at this. So we sacrificed 4 points, and well, we get something out of it. We do almost certainly block this guy, so that's nice. Well, let's see what this brings us. Red is just building his huge city at the bottom. Yellow is looking probably to connect the fields and just drop a city cap in their field. It will be a very difficult field to preserve because the bigger it gets, the more invasion points there are. Ooh, interesting. Now, this is a riskier move, something that I can empathize with. Maybe looking to complete this invasion a little bit later, and it totally works out. 4 extra points from Miso. 2 points from Eyes, I'm going to be presuming. Maybe here. That actually would also be the defense of this square. There's still 1 tile available to hit here. And now nothing can be placed over here to block it. So instead of blocking, Miso chooses to just get the dagger. And let's see how desperate they are. Because a move that everybody's thinking now is just going over here and try and go for this 8-point city. Yeah, there we go, there we go. Ice is now deciding whether it's worth to do something like this Actually, it probably is. No, it isn't. No, it isn't. No, it isn't. So they need to either break the city or just do their own thing. And I think doing their own thing makes more sense. Just maybe continuing the city at the bottom. Trying to continue it in such a way that does not allow any further invasions, maybe? Oh, actually, it doesn't matter how to continue it. I think maybe going here is just fine. This happens to be the last regular Dorito anyway. This actually happens to be the last Dorito of any kind. Which means that later, Miso, when he gets a meeple back, he actually can't go here and invade. All right, let's check how the score is doing. No games have been completed so far. Wait, I need to... Yeah, this is a bit of a problem. There's a bit of scoreboard update, but... basically, I apologize in advance for the disruption to the scoreboard which may occur. Which actually are inevitably going to occur. Oh wait, there we go, there we go. Now it doesn't look that bad. So back to this. Now we see that Red didn't bother harassing the city, and this was a justified choice as immediately a city cap was drawn on the next move. So now actually I like how Yellow is playing this. Yellow is justifiably desperate. And now they have a strong move available to them. So if they go over here, they are going to all but block the invasion of this farmer with, I believe, only one tile fitting in this square. And they will be also expanding their own farm. Red could also invade here theoretically, but we're also having a shortage of tiles that fit into this square. Well, maybe shortage is a strong word, because there's still 2 vanillas and 1 monastery, so that's 3. But it is possible to go here and block the square. Yeah, I get it, but no, actually this is a decent move. Leaving a city cap in the open, it's probably an okay idea. Maybe Miso decided that trying to block this farmer is not a worthwhile endeavor. And maybe Miso's plan is to just keep scoring, and then after this farmer connects on our penultimate move, we try and regain the majority. So, Ice Maze connects. Miso is probably going to score. They have to score. But the field is big enough that Miso could actually win this. So there's still 2 straight lines to use over here. And either side could drop a farmer here and use a straight line to connect to the field. And I think this late in the game, oh, that's actually unfortunate for Miso. Ideally, you want to be drawing this straight line a little bit later. Let me just recount. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, there's still 1 more remaining. I guess you can go here and drop a farmer and then hope for this invasion later. Or you can just go here and then later hope to use this connection platform. But the thing with these connection platforms, they have an expiration date. Yeah, so he goes for it, which makes a lot of sense. Ice Maze is probably going to go here. In fact, I think that would be almost guaranteed victory. So the idea is this. If you go here to equalize the farm, then Miso needs to draw the last straight line to have any chance, to complete the connection. But if that happens, Ice Maze can get the last monastery to reconnect, or the last curve to reconnect like this. Wait, Oh, that's even better. There are three curves remaining. There are two curves remaining. So yeah, so if you go over here, then that's just... I think it's even statistically impossible to lose. What is there, like a 3% chance or something like this? Let's see if the German master finds this. Are there any alternative options? And I don't really think so. Now, unless there's somehow a way to guarantee a win without the field. Then going for that invasion seemed like the way to go. But let's see. The field is currently worth 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 24 points. The monasteries are roughly equal. Then there's this extra city for 28, or 27 rather, because of the... Interesting. I guess Ice Maze has enough on the ruin. So maybe that was a plan. Maybe he did not want to go here just to not have that 2% chance of Misozak drawing all the requisite tiles. Okay, this one I don't get. Oh, I do get this one. I kind of forgot that the fields had not merged yet. I kind of forgot that the fields had not merged. Ah. Well, they can still merge. Like here and a monastery. That might give it all to Miso. Yeah, at the moment what we're having, the field on the right is equal. And then the field on the left has a 2 versus 1 majority. For 15 points, that's something, but 15 points is not quite 24. Yeah. Miso does need these extra cities, and I think Miso missed this one. So he went for this defense. Whereas I think he could have just finished the monastery. Well, let's see. It's not good. It's going to be a very non-obvious endgame. Okay, we're going to spend some time analyzing because this is not straightforward. Now, the big field will go to Miso, but will that be enough? To be honest, I don't think it will be. Because 4 points for the city plus 6 points for the bottom field is what Ice Maze scored. Yeah, look at this 3-point win. A valiant effort, but a bit short. And sadly, we see the difference in endgame skill. So Ice Maze went for precision there, right? He really did not want to fight for the field. He just made sure to try and outrun his opponent. So that was actually very smart. But Miso could have won. He had a 1 in 6 chance, and he got even the tiles to win. So what he needed to do, like, he first of all defended the monastery, which on the surface makes a lot of sense. Because Ice Maze could have drawn this tile and placed it over here and block this invasion. But Ice Maze didn't draw this tile. Ice Maze drew this, with which he couldn't have blocked anyway. And if Miso only had used this curve to finish the monastery, he would have gotten an extra point and a meeple back, and then he could have even meeple this monastery for 8 extra points, and then he would have won by 6 points. But then also, let's think about the other eventuality. Imagine if yellow goes here, gets the extra point, and Ice Maze gets this tile and goes here and blocks. In that case, this is still okay for Miso. He's still better off because he can use the monastery and go here and not have the big field, but have the monastery score 10 points. And I believe he would have still won in this case. Okay, so check this out. So imagine this. So Miso would not be able to connect here. So he would not be gaining these extra 3 points. He would not be gaining 9. But instead he would be gaining 11 because he would get a point here. He would get a 7-point monastery here. And he would get this city cap. So in fact, he would be even winning by 1 point or something like this. Because the reason why he would be winning, in order for Ice Mace to block, he would need to sacrifice the 4 points that he gained here. Yeah, so sadly, this move over here was the game-losing move for Misozak. It wasn't even a 1 in 6 chance. It was actually a 1 in 3 chance. And all he needed to do is just ignore the threat. And with 4 minutes on the clock, you can absolutely calculate this. So, very sad turn of events. I mean, very difficult situation for the Slovakian to start, but then great way to come back, recognizing that big field is the main hope, but then not seeing that a medium-sized field was also okay towards the end. And also great move from Ice Mace here, inducing a mistake from his opponent. If Red were not to have gone over here, of course Red would have just finished. Of course, Yellow would have just finished the monastery and then won the game. So, painful defeat for the Slovak. Let's see how the others are doing. Matej Tabak is doing pretty well on table 1. Maybe let's have a look at them. And then we're going to come back to this couple a little bit later. Knowing Mate, the game must already be soon to over. Wait, they're just starting. Is this the 3rd game? I need to check this. Yep, Miami just came back, so we're witnessing a decider between one of the newer German masters and the Slovak veteran. Man, and we're getting ourselves a very fun open position. It's fun to watch because everything's so satisfying, you know, those dopamine hits from completed features. And it's sometimes fun to play, but as a coach or a team captain, it's not fun to watch at all because it's just so high variance. A lot of things depends on monasteries, on city caps. And so far, Miami getting all the monasteries. So if Blue does not royally mess up, Blue should just win this position. There are only 50 tiles remaining. Oh, and the 4th monastery. Jeez Louise. Well, so what are some chances for Mate here? This is a great move. You kind of realize is that, you know, these monasteries scoring way too much. The only way how you can possibly have a chance is just have a long-term meeple advantage, and Green is simply looking to play against this square. But even that might not be enough. So blocking this square is the minimum, the absolute minimum condition for a win. And Mate is starting to do that. It's actually a really smart move. It's a bit of a counterintuitive move because normally this configuration with 2 road ends next to an opponent's city is actually used for defense of that city rather than block. But in this position, there have already been several suitable tiles that have gone out. So it is possible to go over here and then over here and block this permanently, or simply draw the majority of these tiles. Mate, in the meantime, is starting another field that would be a little bit concerning to me, because he has already invested 2 farmers on the main field, and he's not really going to have a long-term meeple majority, even if he blocks here. So yeah, just a tough position. I think what could happen Oh, yeah, that's it. That's GG. Miami is going to take down this one. The 6 points is just too much. And the meeple back. Also, this consolidating here. I mean, Mate can... Yeah, this is a smart move. Just building up as many cities as possible. Also, maybe there's a way for these two farmers to merge with that farmer for some sort of support. I just don't quite see the pattern here. Maybe something around these here squares, but it would involve using too many tiles for that. So maybe the Slovak will need to try and hold this secondary field with just one meeple. And then maybe I hope that Miami attacks here with a 0-point farmer, in which case we can block here. That's a nice move. So red is trying... Yeah, red. What am I doing? Blue? No, green is trying to block blue over here. Blue immediately defends. This move is also putting pressure on this here city. Yeah, there are 4 tiles that fit into the square still, so we should expect a prompt completion. Miami, in the meantime, taking quick points. Maybe at some point Mate can actually meeple this road himself. Not now, because this is a more important objective. And yeah, I was just saying about meepling this road. Ideally, we don't want to allow Miami to go here. And actually, Mate had a chance with this tile to go over here and meeple this long road. He's now trying to equalize that road, but it's not the same. Equalizing the road is not the same as keeping it for yourself. Good farmers though. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 cities, so that's 24 points. That's still not enough to equalize. So what could we do? I'm kind of feeling that the theme of the stream is one side having a super strong start, and then us trying to find some comeback options. So equalizing the road makes sense. Miami now, of course, going to do something like this. Defend their city. Yeah, that also makes a lot of sense. Although I disagree with the orientation a little bit. Not that it matters. Well, it matters somewhat. I think missing out on a loop road, so slight imprecision here from the German. Probably looking to orientate it like this, so that these 4 points would be available. And another monastery. Sheesh. All 6. Oh yeah, we saw all 6 on stream. This happens like only once every 80 games. This is such a rare occurrence. And all 6 monasteries are meepled, which is even a rarer occurrence. So I think many of you remember yesterday's stream when the Dutch player with the screen name Gottfried was playing against Japan's Keithra and drew the vast majority of the monasteries and meepled 0 of them, I think. Or 0 out of 5 or something like this. Here we see the opposite. And also, the full power of the monasteries is demonstrated. Now, even if they were to get blocked, even then, there would be a slight advantage for blue, but with the monasteries even being completed, 3 of the monasteries being completed, no, not 3, 4 of the monasteries being completed, and the road invasion. This is just getting obscene. Oh, the road invasion. Will you look at this? This is so demoralizing for Mate. So I'm pretty sure that all our German viewers are now rife with Schadenfreude at the moment at Mate's misfortune. But credit to the Slovak. He's now identified that his position is so bad that the only semblance of a chance is to try and complete a dodo. So Miami's dropping a 0-point farmer, which is something that green is wanting. Nevertheless, it's a bit too long to explain, but actually this farmer was correct. So, I mean, it's not too long to explain. So basically the idea with this farmer, even if it gets blocked, If this farmer gets blocked, this means that Mate would not be drawing city tiles. And this would mean that Mate would not complete his big city. But if Mate completes the big city, then blue is drawing road tiles and blue is connecting to the field. And blue is connecting to the field regardless from the other side. Mate is saying grats completely insincerely. By the way, also look at these Doritos here. This meant that it was absolutely realistic for Mate to finish the city. Well, Miami's trying to be a good sport, saying totally unfair game. I wouldn't call it unfair. Like, Miami didn't do anything illegal. If anything, the German played really, really well. I mean, it's easy to play very well if you get 6 monasteries, but not everyone can do that. At this level, of course, when 2 masters are playing, yeah, the side with 6 monasteries is expected to win. There were very few games in my career when the side that did not draw 6 monasteries actually won. And then on top of that, there are, of course, a few other things. And from Green's perspective, yeah, there isn't anything that they could have done. But somehow it's still fun to watch. Wait a second. Why is the difference so small? Only 38 points. It felt like 70 or something. Anyway, congratulations for Team Germany. Getting their first match point on a very important board. I felt like table 1 was the #1 Slovak chance. So now let's change our protagonists once this table is over. And I want to have a look at Myrmidon a little bit. I've never seen this player. And look at this, they're playing a decider because Carpenter 4-5 has just equalized against them. So I guess there is... Oh, they're about to start. Perfect, perfect, perfect. Why are they not starting, though? The start should be automatic. Yeah, there we go. There we go. So the Slovak is to go first. So they're a slight statistical favorite to win this game at about 4% with equal play. They seem to be hesitating a little bit with their first move, but finally a red meeple comes down onto a soon become 6-point city. Myrmidon's typing something in the chat, maybe trying to distract, maybe trying to be polite. We don't know that. Yeah, standard response. Myrmidon is saying, is it normal that you're a 3-time starting player? I thought it switched. Nope, that's the new rule this year. Yes, we have been on the receiving end of this rule as well. That there's some extra variance. It's done for technical reasons, just because it is difficult to ensure on Board Game Arena that the starting players are alternated. So we see that Carpenter apparently starting the game for the 3rd time in a row. Well, good for them. Slovak is going to need every little piece they can get. Okay, so first major mistake from Myrmidon. There isn't really a justification for not meepling a monastery. And so they're taking 2 points, and they're also reducing the quality of their city square. And things like these, they could just decide the game pretty easily. Whereas there was a really, really easy move to be played. Of course, over here for a 4-point monastery, putting pressure on the city. I guess there is a reason why he didn't want, maybe he didn't want to make sure that this square is vulnerable, but still, Carpenter dodged a huge bullet here by his opponent not playing monastery. We can kind of see the point of Yellow's idea, trying to block this square a little bit, but it's not really dangerous for Red. Red has many bailout options. For example, Red can draw one of the 3 tiles that go here, and even if the square gets blocked, Red can still draw a crossroad that goes over here. For example, now, it's not crazy to just do this, but I like their move too. They're finishing their road and trying to put immense pressure on this here square, and unless Myrmidon gets a city cap right now, which they don't, that meeple there is in peril. Carpenter gets a dagger, not the dagger that they would want. Again, let's see what kind of move they make. They sadly make a bit of a cautious move, whereas you really want to be opening a second city in this position, and there were several good ways. For example, this move was an option, but my favorite option was to go over here, start a new city like this, and then create a blocking threat against Myrmidon, which, by the way, now would have already worked. But still, the game is young. Ooh, Carpenter with a 3-point farmer. Yeah, that could cost him quite a lot. So this 3-point farmer is pretty much, this 3-point farm idea is predicated on this city being finished, but luckily he gets bailed out because Myrmidon is understandably trying to block the square, and Carpenter now gets an instant defense, and he is going to do what now? This. And he does not go for the road, which I think is a bit shy. Myrmidon, of course, immediately places a meeple there. And now Carpenter understands the trouble. Now we have to reinvade the road. We absolutely have to reinvade the road. Because... oh, really? So then what is Carpenter's plan? Is his plan simply not finishing this city? Because if Myrmidon gets a crossroads and goes over here, perhaps, then this position will be pretty much strategically won for them. Because this road is so long, and this field so far is so small, that not many comeback options are going to be available for Carpenter. Right now, at least, the city on the left by Myrmidon is trying to get threatening. And Carpenter is, of course, invading it now. But Myrmidon gets a crossroads, and this is quite painful. However, an evil hamster in response. Talk about a wonderful, wonderful sequence. Did you have a look at this, huh? 8 points over here. Just for nothing. Okay, finally Myrmidon meeples a monastery. Be good. I mean, it's 6 points. It's also controlling this here square, so he can pick up this empty shielded piece a bit later. Great move from Carpenter, actually, trying to be proactive with that piece, and also realizing that it is not that easy to block with all 3 right-handed daggers available. You know what? Actually, from Red's perspective, I don't think Red wants this dagger wants to use this dagger at all. His city is at 2 points, Myrmidon's road at 4 points, and it's a losing mini battle, but it's one that we can accept. So probably Red's strategy would be just try and get some more green squares, maybe with a curve, develop this field, and fill in this square, and then we're probably doing just fine. Myrmidon can thwart that by taking 2 points here and restricting the field, but instead they decided to take more decisive action against the square, and Red gets a fantastic draw, which they now use to cover up that square. Myrmidon, though, has a chance to go over here and reinvade that city, and they do that immediately. Loving this move from Red. It's courageous. It requires a lot of courage. Now, there will still be options for the Red guy to try and maybe break the city or reinvade the city somehow, but it ain't easy, especially now, after the triple city for connection had been drawn so quickly. Carpenter's ahead on the scoreboard as a result of his quick points. Still needs to solve his farmer problem and the city problem. So maybe a move like this or like this is an option. He could also ignore the situation at his peril and go over here to score. Yeah, he chooses to create an attacking platform. Myrmidon, I think Myrmidon is actually not necessarily in a rush to go here. I think going here was a legit option. Oh, look at this. They Splitter is a fantastic tile for Carpenter, as Myrmidon was trying to invade that city at the bottom. Carpenter doesn't even bother with the 4 points. He goes immediately for the farm. Myrmidon, of course, has to go over here to finish his monastery, as this is a super dangerous square. Is now threatening to finish this city and drop a farmer. So Carpenter is looking forward to going over here. Myrmidon finish a monastery. A Dorito tile for Carpenter. Not an easy tile to play, in all honesty. Elias is saying closing the city is +2 for red, referring for, of course, this here potential dagger. Yeah, it would be +2 because of this farmer. But then with such a good tile, like a dagger, they're typically better options than just +2. Carpenter just discards this city tile. Myrmidon limits invasion options against the city. It's still a big threat. Even if the city doesn't get completed, actually just a Dorito over here is pretty unpleasant. It's like 14 points or something. Oh, no. That's a big mistake from Carpenter. Now, I know that he probably was looking somewhere to discard this tile, but this move kills off some of his best green squares in his farm, which he's desperately looking to develop. And honestly, with this tile, he probably should have gone over here and tried to break Myrmidon's city. Plenty of road plus city tiles have gone out, so there was a realistic chance of blocking the yellow guy. But now that this 8-point city has been completed and the farmer has been dropped, Myrmidon is going to be looking pretty good in this game. He's ahead on the scoreboard, and he's ahead on meeples as well as a result of this farmer here earlier. At least quick points are going to help. That is a... Oh, no. That is sadly a very dangerous move from Carpenter. And it has a certain idea. I mean, he wants to finish this city and to use this platform to block. But then if you're going to do something like this, you don't necessarily have to use your meeple here. Well, I guess now you have to finish your city, because you really need those meeples back, and you just have to make the calculation that you're going to end up with a net positive there. Yep, and he does go for it. This also means that there's now only one dagger remaining for Myrmidon to finish his city, and that's why Carpenter decides that it's okay to just roll the dice and simply hope that he's going to get that dagger. -6 for red, but the meeple disadvantage is not that dire anymore. Myrmidon with plenty of options here. He could go over here for defense, but honestly, I don't really need to defend the square for my winning chances. I'd rather do something like this and create new threats. Start a new city. Yeah, there you go. Creates the biggest threat in Carcassonne, which is finishing a city and drop a farmer. But Carpenter can respond in kind by going over here and preparing his own city cap to drop a farmer over here. The field at the bottom looks pretty juicy, to say the least. But yellow's the first one to get the city cap and to drop the farmer. They might want to go here instead. That's actually also not crazy. But it seems to me that going for the natural move is the way to go. Or is it? Oh, this is actually also very smart. Oh yeah, this is even better. Look at this, because there's barely any tile that fits here. There are no daggers. There are no butterflies. And there's just one starting tile. So it's very difficult to finish this city. So I guess what Carpenter needs to do is respond. No! I mean, I can understand this move. But going here was so much more important. Blocking the city was so much more important. And Carpenter even got himself the best possible tile. Okay, this is still doable. He's ahead on the scoreboard somehow. Well, he's equal. So will Myrmidon get a city cap? Myrmidon does not get a city cap, but he gets a Dorito tile, which he's going to use for invading the farm. Or maybe he's not. Maybe he's going to go over here to just get some extra points. Maybe he's going to go over here, drop a farmer over here. He does go for the farm. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, still 2 curves remaining. So this move is not going to do much. Carpenter needs to do something about that farm. Maybe actually we go there anyway. And we just hope to draw both curves. Yeah, maybe that's an option. We just go here, and then we try and get one curve here to block, and then we get something like a, I don't know even what. Yeah, curve here with a farmer, another curve, and we invade, and then we win. Still 6.5 minutes to solve this position. He does try and go for the block. Myrmidon with an instant curve gets the majority on the field. Still chances for Carpenter. He just needs to try and invade somehow. Or not yet. It's a rather clunky tile. Maybe just go over here for 6 points and score. I mean, it's not 6 points, but we presume. Yeah, that also makes sense. Get a 7-point ruin at the top. Myrmidon just gets 1 monastery point. Scoring tile for Carpenter. It's a great draw, because it means that this guy's not finishing the city anytime soon, if ever. Well, actually, there's still so many of these vanillas. There's still 2. Yeah, very difficult position here for the Slovak. He's behind on the field. I also barely notice how dark it is getting, but I don't have time to go and get... Actually, yeah, there we go. Should be a bit more light now. Okay, that's going to be all she wrote, as Myrmidon gets himself a city cap and drops a farmer. A 3rd insurance farmer. Carpenter could still do something. For example, if we go here and drop a farmer like this, we can still equalize the field and simply hope that Murmur does not connect here. It's not something we should realistically be hoping for with 2 straight lines and a curve still remaining. But you gotta try something. Yeah, you know what? Okay, so we go here, we connect here, Myrmidon invades, maybe then we use this platform to re-invade, and at least we equalize the field. So that would be my plan. And then we're not that far behind on the scoreboard to try and still do something. We have a ruin at the top. We have a 6-point field. We have a monastery. Oh, thank you, Elias, for pointing something in the chat that this move would lose the game instantly. Man, the board vision, because this here field obviously is not connected to the main field due to this here hole. Man. I'll try to get better, I promise. Oh yeah, then we're toast. I think it all came down to prioritization, right? So Carpenter here with the curve decided to block the square, whereas it was so much more important to just go over here and deny Muradin more cities. Well, yellow got the dagger anyway, which would have brought more severe consequences. Yeah, what can Carpenter even do? I guess score? No, we don't score. Okay, check this out. We go here, we orientate it like this. We drop a farmer, and then we get a curve, we score 5 points, we invade the field. Our opponent invades, we try and invade ourselves. I don't know. Instead, I don't get this move at all. So this is definitely some sort of miss, but I don't see why not just score points. Well, maybe the Carpenter is crafting something that I don't know. Also, the idea would have totally worked for 5 points in the farm invasion. That was like a 23-point sequence in 2 moves for the price of 1 meeple. Surely that would have totally worked. I guess he's just throwing in the towel, taking a 5-point road. Honestly, wait, would he have what? I'm trying to figure that out. So he would have had 23 more. No, he would have had 18 more. And Myrmidon would have had a bit less. Okay, I know I'm streaming with a 1 minute delay. Now I'm getting roasted about my farming invasion. I deserve it. Carpenter meeples a 5-point monastery, unifying all the fields. So let me try and figure out. Myrmidon is gonna win this, but then I'm gonna see if the secret that I was suggesting, not with the Dorito, but with the crossroads, whether that actually would have mattered. I feel like it would have. Miami is saying very nice insurance of the farms. You have to agree that third farmer was clutch. Very important to have. Wait, only 15-point difference. Okay, let me see. So the farm was 21 points. If Carpenter were to go here, then Myrmidon can't really do that much, right, with the tile that he drew. On the next move, Carpenter drew a curve for a field connection. And that would have scored him 5 points, basically the same 5 points that he had on this road. So he would have equality on the fields. Then, instead of this here move, Myrmidon would not have placed 1 monastery point. He would have been forced to go over here to reclaim the lead on the field. And then with the last couple of tiles, Carpenter would have gone here and here, or at least could have gone here and here, to try and reclaim equality on the field. So, what would have happened then? Carpenter would have had 4 less because he would not have a meeple to meeple monastery. No, 5 less. But he would have had 21 more because he would have had equality on the field. He would be at +6. Myrmidon would not have been able to score here, but he wouldn't been able to. But he would be able to score something else. Wait. Actually, I think Red would have won this. I'm not sure if you're following my commentary, but basically, well, not with the tile draw, Not with the actual tile draw, because the thing is, with the penultimate tile that Carpenter got, I don't think he could have invaded here. But with a straight line, he could. Or, you know, if Myrmidon were to not get a straight line immediately, Carpenter could have gone over here. Like, there's so many things that could have happened. Yeah, so it does appear that this was the way to go, but it's something that's very difficult to see, actually. So generally, these field invasions where you drop a farmer with the crossroads and then you score for a road as you invade, it's something that people really only start seeing at, I'm going to say like 550 level or something like this. And even then, not always. Anyway, congratulations to Germany. Very back and forth game, very clutch. Carpenter trying to make a comeback, slightly unsuccessful, maybe a bit of a lack of experience. So certainly we wish them the best of luck in their next 100 games. Now let's check the other scores. So Miami has won. Ice Mace has won his second game against Misozak. So the system doesn't show the score in Carpenter against Navarre because it wasn't updated, but we know that Carpenter lost 2-0, so Germany has already won the match. Let's just see how the finest commentating voice in Carcassonne, at least in German-speaking Carcassonne, is doing against Matisek on table 4. Interesting. So the Slovaks still holding on. Whoa, look at this. Maybe Slovakia is going to get themselves a point or something. Because 16 points on the scoreboard is what Matisek has. 2 early farmers which are yet to prove their worth. It's something that Slovakia seems to be into. Slightly premature agriculture. Oh, but this is a devastating tile. Absolutely devastating tile. Karabujan is going to go here. Potentially even with the farmer if you want to be extra cheeky, although that's definitely extra. And then the city's going to be covered up, and he's going to be threatening a 34-point monstrosity, I believe. $32. But that was close enough. This move has not yet been played. I wonder why. I doubt there are alternatives. Maybe the German commentator is just spending some time to rejoice. Yeah, and Matisek, I think, is overreacting. Well, I'm not sure if it's overreacting. I mean, it definitely makes sense because the city's super urgent. Actually, no, I think it makes a lot of sense. It's very difficult to decide. He made this move instantly, but he basically figured, like, when you sacrifice a 6-point monastery when such exists in a beautiful spot, this means that in your eyes, there's no possible way how Matisek can win if the city gets completed. And I assume this is sort of his take here. I'm not sure that this is entirely true. Maybe if we get here, we get enough compensation. But blocking the city is just safer. Oh, it has to hurt. Yeah, now you see the problem is that Karabujan is going to finish his city. And Matisek is not going to get the monastery. And instead, Blue is getting the monastery spot. So that is rough. But you know what? This is still not a horrible position for Red. That's a very nice invasion. I think totally worth doing. Matisek's now trying to block a little bit, which is to be expected. But basically, blue now figures out that there are 3 tiles that go over here, and this is probably game winning, or at least it's going to give him a good position. So blue is trying to prepare himself for an eventuality where he does not get this tile, which happens around 12-13% of the time. Now, I was going to say something, but it doesn't matter anymore. Yeah, one fortunate thing for blue is how fast this city was completed. I was going to say that red still has chances. If red manages to keep the meeple majority for a long time, but there ain't going to be no meeple majority. Well, maybe. If Caraboudjan is going to get this meeple blocked, perhaps, then maybe red can still develop this field. Because he has ironclad control of it with 2 meeples. And blue is choosing to fight for a field, which honestly should make the Slovak fans very, very happy. Because this means that there's a chance that we just win the field, and then our opponent's going to be burning meeples. That is an interesting move, choosing to use this road as an insurance road. Oh, and Matisse gets the last Dorito with the road, which means that he doesn't even need to bother here, and he doesn't even need to bother. Oh, God. Oh, man. Oh. I feel this, I generally feel this in my body. For newer viewers, the reason why this is so painful is twofold. First of all, there weren't any Doritos remaining in the deck, so there's no point in blocking the square. Second, if you are going to block the square, then meepling this city is just burning your meeple, because there is nothing that fits here. And at this level, it's really not that difficult to calculate that 1 horse, 2 horse, 3 horse all have been used up. So there is nothing that's going to fit in this square. And the main advantage that red could possibly have in this position, which was the meeple advantage, has now been completely lost. So yeah, this is extremely rough. I guess red is still not completely out of it if he still managed to preserve the majority on the field. But yeah, honestly, it has to be... I've seen many blunders, but it has to be... so far the blunder of the championship, really. As I can understand in the end game and maybe for a newer player, but... with 10 minutes on the clock... I don't know, man. It hurts. Okay, but you know what? Now we get a curve and we get to do this. And it's important because, again, the meeple advantage is likely to occur for us. We get a curve, we get a crossroads, we get a meeple back, and so on and so on. So maybe that's the plan. And then we get a couple of extra points here. Meeple some city caps. I don't know. Something's doable. Especially now, as 3 points are going to happen here. Maybe instead red is wanting to go here, but that... I'm not sure what's happening here. Maybe... Let me try and be nice. Maybe red is nervous. But I don't get this. It's like their 3rd year playing. And it's 3 points for a road. And instead they take 1. And they also leave that 3-point road for blue to take. Ah, man. It's unfair because like I think I'm probably like more sad about this game than Matisek himself. But yeah, something that definitely needs to be brought up at team practice. And also, like, there are all kinds of blunders made, and you know, this is part of the game. But it typically also rubs me the wrong way when a move is being made, like, using just 1 second. If you can be like Irving G and you can win your game in making 1 second move, that is a different thing. Again, so 3 points missed. Karabujan is now going to take 4 points, of course, not 3. Yeah, it feels like maybe Red is just resigning this game a little bit too soon. It's still a playable position, even after the blunder with the city. Okay, now a divider tile. That's a great way for us to continue our field. And I was completely certain that this was not going to happen. Just 1 point for Red. Yeah, so what I was saying. Oh yeah, so basically when players make blunders and only spend like 1 second from their clock, it just gives off the vibe of not wanting to win, maybe even almost on purpose. I know it's not like this. But yeah. Well, a monastery, that's a good tile, right? And this might be one of those cases where we don't even have to meeple it. Karabujan very smartly developed a secondary field, did not fight really too hard for the main one. I mean, they started to fight it, but they abandoned the idea. Oof, 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 oof. 2 points for Red, which is not necessarily a bad move, but 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, there's still 2 curves remaining. So something like this was definitely stronger. Bringing in an extra city into the field, preparing to get a meeple back, and also eat up this farmer. Finally, quick points for Red. Blue is going to take... Oh, not even the quick points. Yeah, I chose to simply expand his field. Monastery tile for Matisek. He's going to go here and drop a farmer, try to invade. No, he doesn't. I'm not that good at predicting moves. My chair is getting unstable. My chair is also getting sad. Nalaham is saying it's never too late to blunder, but it's also never too late to blunder more. Yeah, that is true. That is a motto to live by. So Blue, I think, has secured a win in this game. What they need to do is they just want to be precise. They still have 5 minutes on the clock, and they're probably contemplating whether it's worth to fight for any farms, like whether it makes sense to drop a farmer here, try to do this. It does not seem to be the case. Maybe just going over here and securing their top farm for 12 points. It's also one of those interesting situations where the counter field outscores the main field. So this was the main field in the game where Red had a stronghold, but it actually has only those 3 cities completed. It never really grew, despite all those squares over here. And the reason why it never grew is because Blue very wisely started the field over here, and so both sides were preoccupied cleaning all these city caps. Right, in the meantime, I think I want to check if... Oh wait, Loish already won. Okay, yeah, it appears that Marisek is tilting a little bit. He's saying you win, it doesn't matter. And it refers to just simply Karabujan taking his time. Yeah, it's not a attitude which I really like, because at least like for me, the fun part of the game is not necessarily winning or losing, although winning is definitely fun. It's just treating the game like a puzzle, trying to find the best move no matter what. Because if you play, like if you postulate that only winning or losing matters, then many games could be stopped after like 30 moves or something, and then, you know, what's the point in playing in the tournament anyway? So we can see that Karabujan is not reacting. Red is trying to invade at the top. Blue found this blocking move very nicely. There was still a monastery available in this square. Instead, red was forced to discard it. And a 4-pointer for blue's going to seal the deal. So it appears we have another clean sweep. Maybe something that was to be expected. I thought that Germany would win maybe 4-1, that maybe either on table 2 or on table 1 we would have an upset. And we were close to that. We saw how Misozak did have a winning sequence against Ice Maze in game 1. Alrighty, so game over. Congratulations to Team Germany, who not only pick up their valuable victory, but also pick up some valuable tiebreaker points. Commiserations to Team Slovakia and all our Slovak fans. They still can fight with Uruguay and Italy and Poland, and 4 games to be... No, 3. Wait. How many games are there? Yeah, 3 matches still to be played. I don't know, why am I so sad about this? Anyway, there's not going to be any post-game analysis or anything. You saw everything. What I'm going to do, I'm actually not going to pause the stream. I'm going to just do another arena game for stream, like unrelated to this championship. I just need to get some of my happiness back, just to do something relaxing, and then it's going to be time to wind up for the day. So for those of you who are interested in more Carcassonne content, feel free to stay. For those of you who are here just for the WTCOC, I will be streaming on Saturday with a very special guest again, on Sunday probably as well. And if there are matches during the week, which is not a frequent occurrence, then I'll try to pick those up as well. Presumably soon enough, we're going to have a date for the rescheduled match between Finland and Catalonia once the power outage in the Iberian Peninsula is resolved. Until then, enough of the World Cup, and then I'm gonna just go ahead and play some casual games. Yeah, and obviously on table 3, as Kostri is pointing out on the chat, it's just simply not on the scoreboard, but... Wait, what was the name? Medi. What was the name of the new player? I forgot. Medi. Median. What was the name? What was the name of the German player? I'm so embarrassed. Myrmidon. Yeah, so this is who was playing against Navarre. And they won a decider that we just saw a few minutes ago. Hi, Ice Maze. Congratulations for your duel. We saw the first game, just not the second. Anyway, that's it. Time to decompress. Oh. You know what sometimes happens, like when you go for an arena game at the end of the day and you just want to just wind down after a stressful day, and then you get paired up with a former world champion or something, and then you have to like suffer. Okay, this is perfect. So we get actually a pretty strong opponent, it looks. I'm not familiar with the screen name. So they have a Thai flag, but to be honest, I don't even know if they're on Team Taiwan or not in this championship. I think there might. But their arena rating suggests like a 500, 600 range, so it's definitely going to be a fight. And we might even lose this one. But we get the starting player advantage. Yeah, they know their openings. This is the standard response, sometimes with a meeple, sometimes without. I could do this. It's actually pretty annoying. But also like this move. I feel like I should know this. I'm not sure which one's correct. So here, I kind of threaten that city much sooner. But then they sometimes get the crossroads and hurt me here a little bit. If I go here, then I'm controlling the road pretty nicely. But then this city is not going to soon turn into a threat. I think I prefer creating the threat a little bit sooner. And also they're not guaranteed to have a crossroads. Now I have this. And I'm not going to use a second meeple. In my old days, well, by old I mean like 2 years ago, I might. Now also an instructive moment, we don't go here because we don't want to create an invasion platform against our city. Instead we go here to continue our road. Pretty much a very good opening situation so far. Now, they are wisely continuing the road and starting an invasion platform. Here, they're threatening an invasion, and I could go over here and try to defend, but I think a stronger move is to actually go here and make sure that if they invade, and that's a big if, then I have a chance to go over here. Okay, so that's a mistake on their part. You really don't want to be finishing that city in that situation. You're way better off just going here and starting a new one. So that's fortunate. And now we get to finish our road. We even get to contemplate a farmer, although I don't think it's worth it just yet. Yeah, they go there, which makes a lot of sense. Do we just finish this city? I kind of like having this backup here, but they're going to continue the road eventually, and they're going to hurt my city. This is also not that crazy. Yeah, this is actually not crazy at all. Well, but then they go here, and then they can put pressure like this. I could even open a third city. This is actually not crazy. I could even open a third city. Maybe here. Or here. Or here. Here actually is pretty nice. Because then this reduces the quality of this here monastery, right? Because I can put something here, put a bit of pressure. Yeah, kind of like leaving the city open, actually. Because basically, if I finish that one, then I don't care if this guy's getting blocked. So I like keeping my options open. So the question is, do we start a city here or here? Now, let's go for this. All right, there we go, there we go. So they invade, and now we can re-invade. The question is how to... Oh! This is pretty cool. So that way, if I go here, I threaten completion a little bit sooner, but they have a re-invasion platform, and they have this platform to try and maybe block one of these two squares. If I do something like this, I'm really not threatening the completion much, because if I go here, my opponent can block this square, or they can go here and block this square. Yeah, so this is actually strongest. because I'm threatening, you know, like a double Dorito or really double triple city. And then I'm also controlling my opponent's road, which is really annoying. Yeah, so this has to be the move. Okay, that's actually pretty smart. So they now start putting pressure on a lot of my squares. I really don't have much that I can do. I mean, this doesn't make sense. This, not really. I mean, my ideal outcome is that this square gets blocked and I have a big ruin here. So what do? Do we start a new city? I mean, I could just finish my one. But then, no, that's way too chickeny. I have 4 meeples. Come on, Alexey. Don't be chicken. This is bad. No, I need to start. I need to just do something, right? I need to do this. Ah! 8 seconds. Click, 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 click. There we go. Oh, why did I not think about this? Yeah, that's good for them. So they're going to equalize the city probably. Okay, now I think opening a new city would be too much. Sometimes getting just 4 points is fine. They're playing very, very quickly. Their move does make sense. Let's do maybe this. So they get a monastery, and you see, it's good that we built around the square because they now were not meepling the best monastery spot. They kind of meepled the second best in terms of points. Now. So we have this. I could go here. Just take... Oh, come on, man. I can't... He was trying to expel me, you little... He clearly saw I was disconnected. I hate this ethic. Like, I understand sort of that it's somebody's right to try expelling when they get disconnected, but come on, man. And especially, it's like a really faux pas to be expelling somebody when you're in a worse position. Anyway, need to speed up a little bit. Yeah, I guess we can go for a big ruin fight, but we can do this instead. Try and block them. And we get the only tile in the deck with which we can actually block. So that should be GG at this point. I think it should be GG. This. Nah. Let's just continue the city here. Ice Maze is saying that I didn't notice your biggest blunder towards the end. That's interesting. Maybe that's a good thing, because we've had enough blunders today. We had way too much. Okay, so 2 monasteries from my opponent. They're still in the game. They can get a lot from these mon. Is it crazy to do this? To just meeple the road? Maybe it's not crazy. But I'm not gonna do it just yet. This is an option. No, it's weak. Let's go for the road. So they get a meeple back. I'm gonna start a loop. They get another meeple back. Yeah, you're really catching up on that scoreboard. So I'm Finish a city. Then I'm gonna try and block my road. And now 1, 2, 3. Oof. Do we try and block their monastery? I think we do. Yeah, I want to make sure that they're without meeples for a long time. Ooh, that's actually pretty neat. They're going for the crawling technique. I believe there's still tiles that go here, and that would allow them to still invade. Anyway, should not be a source of big concern. We're just gonna go for standard moves for now. Yeah, there we go. They're really going for it. But I think what we can do, we're just gonna invade that ruin a little bit later. Okay, they get a meeple back, and they also obstruct my monastery somewhat, but I am going to hurt their road and also meeple the first farm. Okay, they do. Block my monastery. It's not a problem because I still have a meeple advantage. All I need to do for now is not blunder. Maybe just not lose on time. Let's, I guess, equalize their city. Yeah, there we go. The crawling technique. Okay, that's, you gotta give credit where credit's due. Blocking the road is fine. And the thing is, they actually can genuinely win this game. Okay, I'm getting disconnected again. Temporarily. All they need to do is just win a big ruin, I guess. And they could get the triple city tile that goes here, and they could still get a tile that goes here and invade. But, so then I'm gonna develop my field instead. There we go! Yeah, that's super smart. So they are gonna connect successfully. And I think I have to now re-invade. Simply to not allow them to do that. But are there even tiles to do this? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 regular Doritos, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 Doritos of the other kind. Huh. In fact, there's only one triple city remaining. That's the only option to invade. But if I do invade, no, it just doesn't work, does it? Yeah, so there's still a triple city, right? Well, that would be a very fun thing to do. Wait, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. 21 is the price of the city. Yeah, they can actually win if they get it. I'm thinking whether it's worth invading. They can still technically finish their monastery. Maybe I should take care of that first. Invading is fun. Invading is very fun. I mean, yeah, we're here to have fun. Duh. So the only question is this or the other one. So either we go for the unblockable one or we go for the 1 and 2 spots. I think we go for this one. So this is probably incorrect, but it is just the most fun move to play. Yep, there we go. They get this. Now we need to defend a little bit. Wait, how many Doritos are there? No, yeah, I counted them before, so it's just this. Well, they get that tile. It's not horrible, because they can't do anything meaningful with it anyway. I'm going to be stuck with 2 points at the top. And they're not counting tiles, which is fine with me. Now, let's go for this. There's a reason for that move. And the reason for that move was specifically to prepare for the eventuality of my opponent drawing this here tile, but now we won't have to. I can just get a point. And no further points. And then that's it. I actually didn't double check if I'm winning, but I should be, because I had 14 extra on the scoreboard and they had only like 1 monastery and 1 road. So I should be winning by around 10, 9, something like this. Okay, now I feel much better. I also need to do a better job at being less emotionally invested in other people's games. Yeah, 10 points is a difference, exactly. I'm not going to say GG because he tried to kick me out, which is not cool to do when your opponent's just having a slight connection trouble. Not cool. One more? Yeah, let's go for one more. Oh, let's go for one more. Okay, I'm playing against Yanis from France. It's quite interesting because Yanis with a long A and a short E is a common Latvian name, and it's also, of course, name of one of my teammates. But Yanis is, I don't know, reverse Latvian. I've played with them before. They're a decent player. Okay, but this one's going to be last for real. Okay, away we go. Our opponent starts a new city, and we already have a bit of a decision. Do we go here, try to be friends, be neighbors? Or do we do something like this? I guess is not great. To be honest, I actually don't know this. There has to be a reason why one of these moves must be better than the other. Okay, not this one, because I want to keep the square open for horses and stuff like this. So we're going to eliminate that. What's wrong with this? Really not much. This, though, does seem to be pretty good. Like, I'm not continuing my monastery. But then if I go here, the cool part about it is that my opponent is forced to go here before they go here. Actually, I think this is... Let me try this. I think this is the move. Yeah, look at this. So they now need to go here, and then I'll be able to successfully invade. But if they go here, then I have options here. So this is preparing in advance for my opponent covering up. Actually, if they go at the top, I'm not even sure if I want to invade, really, because ideally I want to do this and go. Okay, there we go, there we go. So they cover up on the right, which makes my move make even more sense. Now the question is, do we go here and limit their options a little bit, or do we do this and try and create another attacking platform? I think this is actually better, because I'm also pre-building a road that goes through my monastery. So the pattern here is something like a crossroads plus road. Okay, they equalize my monastery. I probably need to go for something like this. And then if they try and cover up here, I'll always be able to go at the top and threaten some nasty things. Yay, there we go, crossroads, told ya. This opening stuff matters a lot. Yeah, they cover up, and they might end up finishing their city anyway. So what do we do? Do we do this? Wait, do we do... No. Okay, this is an option one. Just continuing here, ignoring the city. But then if that happens, they're going to go here. They're going to limit my city options. So I'd rather just address the threat as soon as possible. And you know what? If I go... Yeah, I think this is the move. The purpose of that move... Well, first of all, sometimes I do get a city plus road tile to go here. I do sometimes get a Dorito to invade. But sometimes they get a city cap and then they are forced to continue my city. So this is... There are many good outcomes. There's some bad outcomes as well. For example, a straight line can hurt me bad. Because with a straight line, they will be playing against both of my squares. Anyway, I get a monastery, so I shouldn't be complaining about anything. I'm not complaining, but... And also red gets a fantastic monastery, better than mine, and they're thinking for a long time about what I deem a rather obvious move. 4 points here, stacking, controlling my road. So much so that I'm actually inclined to just try and refresh the page. Nope. Nothing wrong on my part. They're genuinely thinking. Is there anything better at all for them than stacking? Surely not. And they go for it. Maybe they just had a different matter to attend to. Now, this move screams at me. It's the obvious one, but I'm not going to go there. I think it's better to stack. Well, actually, is it better to stack? So this move is really high scoring. It's 6 points. I'm also supporting my city here. I can build. It makes the position very open, which I'm not sure I benefit from. Actually, I'm pretty sure I don't, because they're the first one on the farm and all like that. If I go here, this square is vulnerable a tad, but I think it's probably still better. Stacking is just too good. There's also one thing which I didn't want to happen. Like if I go here, it's actually an extremely annoying configuration to have when I have two monasteries diagonally and an opponent's monastery in between mine. Because the only way how I can finish my monasteries is by also finishing my opponent's monastery. Okay, so they get a starting tile, and I think they really have only one decent move, which is to go here and equalize my city to prevent what I'm about to do to them next. But they're thinking about it. They're apparently taking it really seriously. Eight seconds remaining. Yep, and a costly mistake, costly mistake for them. They're not gonna finish their big city. And then that's it. Like, games are decided by stuff like this. So now I get a straight line. I have several options. I could go here, simply build up my monasteries, but this seems like a lot of fun. I indirectly protect my city and also build up a road which goes through this square. And I can finish my monasteries a little bit later, so let me just do this. Okay, they try to block my square, and I was going to go here, but now I don't really have a choice. I have to finish this road. And also place a city cap next to my monastery. They can do something similar now. Oh, like this. I don't know what I think about putting the city cap outwards, but I know for sure that I'm going to go here and protect my own city cap, because now it's kind of harder to block. Interesting. So I think that's an overreaction. My city was not that dangerous. It's not worth to be adding this many points. And I can also deal with that city a little bit later. There are plenty of Doritos that fit there. Okay. They are now building their city on the right. I guess I need to go here, take 4 points, threaten some disastrous things against them. But it's quite easy to defend. Although it's not a complete defense. There's still extenders that go here, for example. Ooh. That still could hurt. So, I guess we go for this. It's a pretty long road. Yeah, we can meeple it. We have the meeples to do so. We also get a fantastic follow-up. They are now spending valuable tiles trying to avoid a block. They forgot to drop a farmer. I think a farmer was a must, because eventually this city is getting completed and then I'm dropping a farmer. So, lovely tile for me. I get to do this. I get to continue my city and continue my road as well. Pretty easy decision. Okay, that's interesting. That actually could work well. That could annoy me. What do I do? Okay, my first instinct is to go here and actually start breaking them, but then I could lose my city. Like this, huh? It's still worth it. I'm still gonna do it. It's just, the thing is just like way too annoying for them. And you see now they're forced to maybe take 4 points and continue my monastery, or do something else entirely, which already makes it move worth it. But it's an interesting position. Like, I'm not sure exactly what to do with all my monasteries there. Yeah, there we go. There we go. They took the bait. They took the 4 points. And now I simply get to continue my monasteries pretty easily. And I'm also even be the first on the farm there. Just so that if they finish the city, they can't drop a farmer. Maybe a bit of an overreaction because I can't drop a farmer at the top. But you know, it is what it is. Now, do I even bother going here? So this move is going to score me what? 5 points. This move is not going to score me 1 point, but it's putting my city in a much better position. I guess I'm still going to take the points. And I know that I'm making it very easy for my opponent to meeple a farm. But it is what it is. Yeah, very nice smart move now for my opponents, meepling that farm. I still have a chance to meeple it later. Let me just go here and try and threaten the completion of that city. And there we go. The city on the left is now extremely dangerous. They will be the first person on the farm, but it's just not going to matter. This is going to matter somewhat, as they score 4 points, and I don't really have many options here. This is certainly nice. Actually, yeah, maybe this might be the move. Better than scoring here. No, there's still plenty of city plus road tiles, so let me just make a normal move. They get a straight line, finish their monastery. Yeah, suddenly this is actually looking pretty good for them. I think my position relies on finishing that city on the left, which is a likely occurrence. But if they stop me, life is going to be a bit harder. What about here? I think that's good because we are running short of city plus road tiles, and it's not that easy for them to block my city. So I think it's absolutely worth a shot, and it's going to be paid off. I mean, it's going to pay off. Yeah, they continue the city. Now, of course, an instructive moment. We never go here because it's so easy to block and invade with actually very few, no, 0 Doritos with the road remaining. The answer, of course, is to go over here and then set up one of the 3 remaining road Doritos. Now only 2 remaining road Doritos, but there's still 1 splitter left. And then I also get to complete the city and even meeple a farm. That's just fantastic. That's an incredibly smart move from them. Will you look at that, huh? So first of all, it makes it harder for me to block the city, so I can't now go here, for example. And it also makes it impossible for me to connect to the field. Now I have 3 options. I could just get a meeple back. I could go here and block my own monastery together with my opponents, and this is to make sure that this city stays in my farm. But this is the move that I'm not going to make, because if I complete my cities, and I probably win the game anyway, and it doesn't matter whether it's on my farm or not. So it's between this and this. And I can finish this side a little bit later. I think I'm better off just going here and scoring points. I have to meeple this road in order to prevent my opponent from scoring points with the crossroads. They get a splitter, leaving only 2 critical tiles for me, for my city at the top. And I'm still behind on the scoreboard. Okay. They finish yet another city and start a new one, and now we need to start breaking things. So this is an option for sure, but then if I do that, then they're just gonna get the Dorito tile and continue. So this is not an option really, but what about this? It's actually quite hard to continue that city when there are no vanilla city camps left. And with the Dorito, they're only prolonging it. I think it's worth it. Another option is to go here and try to break their city on the left. But let's just do this. And the point of that move, that if they get a Dorito, then we can maybe invade or block that city a little bit later. So it's just nice to take some options away. And the worst case scenario, the very worst case scenario, is that we donate them 2 points, but it's an unlikely occurrence. In any case, as you can see, I have a city cap in hand. I will be getting a bazillion points on my next turn. And with that, we should be able to withstand any farmers. Also, I realized something with my straight line. I made it so that this city is part of their farm. But again, it doesn't matter because if I finish the city, then I think I should be winning regardless. So let's see how many points it scores me. Yeah, and there we go. So they actually forego their city. Now, I need to decide how greedy I want to be. I can go here, and this is probably the move that I'm going to settle for, but this move is also super tempting. To just go for the 5-point road. And then finish the monastery later. And this is more of a defensive move so that I don't allow them easy points. Man, this is so tempting. This is so unbelievably tempting. I'm going to do it. I don't care. I'm going to do it. It's just too many points. They can maybe block my monastery, but it's going to take time. Also, it's interesting how this field is covered up at the top. They can only meeple the farm if, and only if, they continue my road. Which they shouldn't do. Or maybe they should, I don't know. I mean, it's a 6-point farm. But then if that happens, then I get to finish a city. I finish a road and start a new one. Yeah, and they go for it. Can't blame them. So now it sort of changes my idea. I was gonna go here, but now that my road is liberated, I'd rather do something like this. Also, I didn't double check the city caps. That was actually bad for me. I didn't double check if there is even a sufficient number of city caps for me to finish that city, but I think there is. They are, I guess, trying to block my road. Not that it matters, but in any case, my plan is to go here or here to try and make some blocking happen. And what is the best way to do this? There are no extenders. Yeah, if I go here, what is going to be my actual blocking tile? That's the question. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 6 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So there are no big tiles. The Doritos I need to finish my... the Doritos I need for finishing my city. If I go here... What does that accomplish? What is my blocking tile? It seems that like whatever I do, I just give them chances to invade. Right? But are there daggers? Are there daggers? Are there daggers? Yes, there are. And so I guess they could go... I mean, they're smart enough. They go here with a starting tile and then do this and this. It's still not that bad. But there's just no value in this move at all. I think... Well, if I go... Is there point in going this way? Can they threaten the completion of their city? 1, 2, 3... I think there are just not enough city caps to do this. Yeah, whatevs. Let's just go for this. Yeah, this is also my problem. Now they can go here and drop a farmer, I guess. So that would be a way to do things. But it's just so difficult to see. Like, it's ridiculously difficult to see. Okay, now it's time to get a meeple back, I guess. It has really been long enough. They get a Dorito tile, so they're gonna get all my outs, or what? I guess I could go here. Wait, I could even go here. It's also not crazy. Just go for the crossroads and just go for the farm. Do I have to, though, with 19 points ahead on the scoreboard? 1, 2, 3, 4. No, I don't. I don't. Let's just go here. Yeah, they're gonna finish their city probably. Oh, that is smart. So they were trying to anticipate what I was about to do, which is, of course, finishing my road and dropping a farmer. But now I can't drop a farmer. But I still have to go there because I don't want to give him easy 7 points. The question is, do we meeple anything afterwards? Is there any point in meepling 1 point road? I don't think there is. I forgot about this tile. Yeah, that makes sense. All right, let's just start making our high scoring moves. We don't have to clean that city cap because this, I'm gonna say with some degree of certainty, is in fact the last city cap that fits there. Okay, this is good. We get a very long road. They get themselves a curve with which there's nothing much that they can do, and there's still a Dorito for me to finish my city. Although actually, I don't think finishing my city is good because I would be giving them points for 3 farmers. Yeah, look at this. So this guy, this guy, this guy. If I finish my city, then I get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Then I turn a 7-point city into a 16-point city, so I get +9. But I give 3 times 3 points to my opponent, so it's a wash. So actually, on my last move, if I get a Dorito, I can't finish the city. And the best thing that I can do is, I guess, something like this, yeah. And they get Dorito anyway. It's kind of funny. But in any case, I think even though we didn't get any of our 4 out for the city, I think we did a decent job just trying to create other threats. For example, I got away with 2 very long roads. This was a crucial move over here to pre-build that road and protect my city. This was a crucial move as well to be a bit more patient with my meeple retrieval and try to go for this. This was, you know, okay. I ended up controlling 2 of my opponent's meeples with just 1. So that turned out all right. And now my last move, the best that I can do is score 3 points. Let's go for this manner of scoring 3 points. Just because it's fun completing features. And let's see what the final score is. I guess I should be knowing this, but that's my weakness. $16 points is the difference. Yeah, actually very well played from my opponent. They created a lot of threats. They took a stronghold on the field. They got a lot of insurance against my city to the point that completing it was not necessary. It's just one mistake, really. Only one mistake. And it's not like a horrible mistake or anything, but this here move, this always needed to be turned the other way as I was threatening to invade or block this here guy. And they would have gotten away with like a 14 or even 16-point city. 14-point city. And I would have been stuck here. Anyway, now that's enough for today. both World Team Carcassonne Online Championship and casual content. So we'll be wrapping up. Before that, let's see if any other matches have been scheduled. Germany, of course, is now... Oh, there we go. I have results updated. Germany is now in shared first. But of course, RCP and Poland still have games that they can play, matches that they can play and claim wins. Let's have a look at the calendar here. Yeah, so all matches have been really scheduled for the 3rd and 4th of May. And if there is anything before that, I'll let you know. Just make sure to meeple the like button if you liked anything about this video, and subscribe for more competitive Carcassonne content like this. Thank you all so much for watching, and I'm gonna see you soon.